Welcome to this special 2014 BSCAI Convention ISSA Trade Show Tripodcast. Our special guest today is Claudia St. John, who is president of Affinity HR Group, LLC. And welcome, Claudia.
Thanks so much. Delighted to be here today, Dick.
Claudia is going to be conducting a session entitled Teams Plus Trust Equal Success, and that is going to be on the Saturday, the 8th of November at 11:15. So, Claudia, why don't you take a few moments and tell us a little bit about you and your company, and then give us some bullet points on what we can expect in this session.
Sure thing. Thanks. Well, starting off, Affinity HR Group, we are a national human resources and management consulting firm. And we have a special relationship with BSCAI so that we are offered as an endorsed partner and resource, really, to BSCs who are members of the association. And in doing that, what we try to learn is what's the unique nature of a BSC and what do they need within the world of human resources. And so, for example, a lot of BSCs have high turnover. They have employees that work remotely. They tend to have very large workforces with a very small, lean human resources staff, if they have any human resources staff. So we really try to understand their space so that we can provide support to them. And some of the support that we provide is we provide assistance with ad hoc issues. So we have BSCs call us when they have a problem employee or they have somebody who's out on leave and they're not quite sure how to calculate the leave with Family Medical Leave Act, or they need a handbook reviewed, or they have a recruiting need. They need to hire a CFO or one of the top sales guys. So we're really there to provide any level of HR support that they need, presuming that they don't have as robust an in-house HR department as they may want.
Can I interrupt you just a moment? I know that you do a Monday morning a blog out to the whole association membership. And I will tell you that I get umpteen emails every week from various sources, but this is one I read every week because it always seems to have information that's very pertinent to our industry. And I know that's what it's designed for, but there's others that say that too, that we're designed for your industry, and it isn't. But yours is, and it always has something helpful. And I don't want this to sound a little like a commercial, but it's a commercial because I'm a consultant, as you know, and I help a lot of my clients, and I always encourage them to be sure to read the Affinity Minute because it always has something that is worthwhile for the week. So I thank you for that, and I applaud you for that. So.
Well, I have to say thank you because when you write those things, you don't necessarily get feedback, and it can seem both lonely and boring. So.
Well, I got you off track, so I better let you get back on and tell us what the session Teams Plus Trust Equals Success is all about.
Sure. Well, the session is about the need for teamwork and collaboration, and that sounds like a very sort of standard organizational development type session. But what we find is there's certain parts within organizations, particularly sales and operations, or sales and customer service, or any positions like that the behavioral preferences or the people that are in those two positions naturally conflict. You have somebody out selling and they're saying, we can do it, and then you have somebody back at home that says, we can't do that. I don't even know what you're talking about. You didn't get me enough data.
Yeah.
So,
you didn't get me enough hours. What do you mean you want that done in 12 hours? It'll take 20 if it takes one, right? Yeah.
You've overpromised, and now we're stuck trying to fulfill your promises, and meanwhile the salespeople say, look, if I hadn't sold this, if I don't sell, we have no company, and you need to learn how to be more out-of-the-box thinking. Yeah. And these are very, very natural and normal dynamics within a workplace. And in fact, they are essential in the workplace. You need a check and balance. But with that check and balance can oftentimes come discord, can come, a lack of collaboration, even dislike. So the session really talks about the three pieces that can help teams, particularly those types of teams, opposing teams, work better together. And there's three particular areas that we cover. The first is understanding behavioral style. People who are selling are naturally aggressive, competitive, extroverted, fast-paced, fast-thinking, not detail-oriented.
Surely not. Okay, go ahead.
and then the people back at home who have to implement it, they're detail-oriented, they're process-oriented. They tend not to be have a high sense of urgency. They tend to be more methodical in how they get things done from A to Z. So learning about that helps you understand each other better, and appreciate each other better, because we need both types. So that's the first piece. The second piece is understanding the components of trust, and how to talk about breakdowns in trust, how to talk about breakdowns in the relationship. And then the third piece is how to learn how to make and manage promises together so that you can be more explicit. And when you put all those three things together, we find that the teams really are better at understanding each other and navigating what are natural sort of chasms in relationships.
Wow, that's going to be a dynamite session, and it's on Saturday morning, the last day of the conference or the convention, and so it's going to be an ideal session to attend as everybody gets ready to go back, and face that exact same thing on the next Monday morning. The salesperson who sold a job and the operations department who says it can't be done in those hours and so forth and so on. So, I want to thank you, Claudia, for your insight into the session. It's I would suspect it's going to be one that's very well attended. And,
I hope so.
Yeah, you hope so, and so do I, because it's one that's well needed. It's really needed in our industry, because you identified as you talked the exact thing that happens in a company, is that sales sells it, operations says it can't be done, sales says sure it can, and so forth and on, so forth. Mm-hmm. So again, I want to remind our audience it'll be on Saturday, November the 8th at 11:15. I think it goes till 12:30. And I also want to remind everybody that the ISSA trade show is Wednesday through Friday, November 5 to 7, and the BSCAI educational sessions will be on Thursday through Saturday, November 6 to 8, and they'll be at the Hilton, Orlando. And for those of you that are listening and want to take the CBSE exam and the RBSM exam, or want to attend the bidding and estimating seminar, those will be taking place on Wednesday, November 5. So you can register at www.bscai.org and click on the registration icon. And Tripodcast listeners, whether you're a BSCAI member or not, you get the early bird registration rate, even if you register after, I think it's September 25th is the end of the registration early. And no matter when you register, if you're a Tripodcast listener, you get the early bird rate as well as the early bird rate on the bidding and estimating seminar. And all you have to do on your registration form is enter the code TSD, that's Tom, Sam, David, and it'll automatically give you the discounted rate. So, again, I want to thank our special guest, Claudia St. John, and thanks to all of you who are listening, and we hope to see you in Orlando in November.